So all that is summarized in this idea of what we do at the end, at the beginning of the practice, which is the sensation of arriving. You arrive into the present moment, and you just feel present. So let's do what we call a formal practice to recap and to add all these different aspects of healing meditation we have been studying. So the first one is always just you arrive, you just feel here. By the way, my kids were okay yesterday, so there was no, we manage. The difference is just such, of doing versus being. It's like day and night, and the more we can incorporate that being into our doing, so the more this our life and this world just becomes a better place for everybody. So this idea of arriving, which is simply the sensation of turning your senses from being focused on the mind, from being focused on this constant dynamism of life, which is just part of life, there's nothing wrong with it, just actually starts reversing itself to just perceive the sense of I-ness. I am here. I am in this moment. And then this sense of I-ness also starts giving in to something that is just wider than my name, my story, my my age, whatever. It's this idea of this nakedness, this where the senses are just at ease, relaxed, without addition. So this is the beginning, and this is the end of the practice. To deepen our experience of this, which is as infinite as the whole infinity of life, but we have all these veils, that are preventing us, all these mental patterns, all these habits, all these movements of energy in our mind, in our body. So to purify those, to settle those, then we do the practices. So the beginning of the practice then is always to express and reflect on our motivation. What is it that you're here? This beautiful Sunday morning. I see some of you outside is so beautiful, and you still choose to be here, sitting. And so what is it that you hope, that you anticipate, that you expect? That you want to cultivate through your practice. So you bring that to mind. And this is very beautiful because it's like, wow, this is what the universe life, this is what consciousness life, it creates, it manifests. It's, if you're a potter, for example, like, you just don't get the big bag of clay and you put it on the desk there on the table and say, wow, this is great. Yeah, it's great. But, you want to have more fun. If you start doing things with it, you create. So this is really the purpose of our personal motivation is like, I have this incredible physical body, I have this incredible mind, I have these incredible resources. What really do I want to do with it? And the more joy it gives you, the more it aligns, with who deeply inside you desire. Obviously, the more it thrives and the more interested the universe is. Somebody was the other day, I don't know if I mentioned it already, but somebody came to the office, a lovely young woman, and she's telling me, oh, I have to do all these things, I'm just trying to survive. So, well, you still have to do them regardless. Why don't you try to thrive? Like it's the same thing. It's just a thought. Thinking, oh, I'm just gonna try to make it. I mean, making it is thriving too. I mean, many days here in my house we try to make it. There's so much going on all the time. I mean, in your houses, yeah. But now you're switching. Okay. What? Oh yeah, yeah. Okay, I have to do all these things, but I'm actually gonna thrive through this. I'm gonna connect with my experience of being, and I'm gonna thrive. And then the other aspect of our motivation is how we transform that personal thriving, which for everybody thriving means something different. Whatever is for you is for you. Sometimes thriving might be just be getting out of bed and showering. Sometimes thriving means, I don't know, doing something worldly great. And just we extend that desire. So by the merit of having, I'm going to practice healing meditation to benefit both myself and all other sentient beings without exception. May my practice generate an infinite ripple of healing, well-being, and awakening across all time and space. May the illnesses of all beings be healed, and may they never occur again. May my practice bring joy and clarity to all beings, helping all of us become aware of our perfect essence. May we have the courage to recognize the same perfect essence within everyone and everything. May this recognition awaken healing, joy, peace, and love within each of us throughout all of existence. Because the potential of all sentient beings is infinite, it's boundless. Because each sentient being, it's the abode of that divine awareness, whatever you want to call it. Our aspiration is our prayer, our motivation is that all sentient beings can thrive. And at the end of the day, thriving, even though externally is going to be manifested in many different ways, internally, thriving means that I will hold love in my heart for myself and others. That I will be able to find ways to be of service to others, or at least not to harm others. And secretly, deeply inside, thriving means I will remain aware of my own awareness, and that will bridge the gap from the most external, where death is the best advisor, to the most internal, where I'm grounded in the reality that actually there's no death. Yeah, there's elements that come, integrate in specific forms, and then separate. And but consciousness is just beginningless and endless. And then in this set of layers where we create more and more intimacy between our awareness and our consciousness, okay, I hope at this point we are able to, the group is able to start to understand the difference between awareness and consciousness. Consciousness is just this experience of being, of life itself, just this infinite divine being, whatever you want to call it. Awareness is our ability to be aware of that, to perceive that directly. So our awareness is mostly engaged in the external objects and attached to the external objects of the senses, or to thoughts, or to sensations. So here, mingling consciousness and awareness means being able to redirect our perception into the experience of being. That is the pilgrimage, that is the journey. So in that sequence of steps to create this intimacy, now we do the alternated nostril breathing at your own pace. Doing every step, every breath, every move with utmost finesse. Realizing in this experience, in this joy of being, every step really it's the same in essence. It's just how we can cultivate being. How can we connect and maintain, habituate to awareness of being? And then at your own pace, switch sides. And then through both nostrils into the brain, and down the sides of the spine to below the navel. And then up and out the center of the body into the crown and out. And as it goes out, visualize this beautiful sun above the head. We're going to do the healing smile here. So the breath goes out and connects with this exhales, connects with this beautiful sun above the head that now shines this beautiful radiance, this beautiful healing light all around us. Cleansing, regenerating, strengthening our energy field, the first layer of immunity. This beautiful smile surrounding us. So it's not a smile of, it's not an energy of protection. It will give you protection. It's just a natural or like field, energy field. but it's not so much about, oh, I'm protecting myself. It's more about, I'm holding this beautiful vibration of love, of joy, of friendship, of caring, of creativity, that whomever comes, anything that comes into connection with this field will just naturally also pick on that, like resonate with that. So do it again. Inhale down and let the breath go out and out through the center of the crown to the top, connecting with the sun. And now the light of the sun expands and showers directly on our crown, on our hair, the face, and the neck, and going down the shoulders, the chest, the arms, like the surface of the body, all the way down to the glutes and down the legs. And again, this beautiful smile. So there's a beautiful smile around, white smile around, and then this beautiful vibrating smile in our surface, softening the body and at the same time strengthening it. Letting go of any kind of tensions and leaving behind a very nice sense of just relaxation, of being at ease. And then one more smile, one more breath, inhale into the brain through both nostrils, down, inhaling to below the navel, exhaling through the center of the body, into the crown, and out, exhaling to this beautiful sun that keeps expanding its light. And now the light though comes inside of our body, and in a simple way just fills up our body as if it was this beautiful vase. So the light just goes down to our feet, and then from our feet just starts filling up the legs to the knees, and then the healing light fills up the thighs, the waist, the abdomen, the chest, and then it overflows into the arms and the head. And all the inner organs, from the brain to the eyes, the inner ears, the spine, all these organs are vibrating, like are being floating, in this inner healing light. So the lungs around and inside, the heart, the the thyroid gland in the neck, the parathyroid, thymus gland, the chest, and then just all the inner organs, the lungs, the heart, the liver, the gallbladder, the pancreas, the stomach, the gut, all just the inner organs. So you can either detail one by one, or you can just fill the body with light. And then just take a moment to observe. We've been in this practice now for, I don't know, 10 minutes, something like this. So since the first moment when we, said, okay, now we arrive, we feel present, to now, we've done like 3 steps, the arriving, the motivation, and the alternating nostril breathing, and then with a healing smile. Just observe how you feel. Observe if there's a difference. Observe if the mind is more quiet, if the body is more relaxed. And then you can observe, like, yeah, we are all fully enlightened beings without the beginning. I mean, there's no question about that. Yet, in just a few minutes, I feel so different. And it happens to me. It might happen to some of you too, I imagine. So then we see, oh, actually the value of the practice is immense. If I look at my mind now, it's much more quiet. There's like a sense of spaciousness. There's a sense of openness. So it's important to do the practices slow. There's no rush, really. You have whatever time you have for your practice, But whatever you're doing, you take your time and you reflect on it, you experience it, and you see how it's changing you, because the practice is meant to change us. From surviving to thriving, from fear to the joy of being. And then we do the healing mantra. I'm just giving you a basic, this is kind of the final structure from all these months, adding the different parts. I'll do the mantra, I'll do it part by part, and I will repeat each part 2 times. Let's see if I can manage to do it that way. So just in case you don't have the mantra with you, you can follow me. So the first part is Om Ahum. So white light on the forehead, red light on the throat, blue light on the heart. If this is too complicated, just do the sounds, okay? So and we can do together again. And now rainbow light surrounding the body, inside of the body, or from the navel, whatever is easier. Okay, so let's go back to that part. Those are the 5 elements, okay? We are inviting the 5 elements to vibrate at almost potential, internally, externally. And then Shuddha means purify, okay? Shuddha, Shuddha. Okay, so you follow me in any way you can. Okay? And once more, you can imagine, if you're inside, you can imagine you're in a beautiful outdoors. When we were in Spain, like we were up in the mountains, and there's this beautiful stream up high in the Pyrenees, like all beautiful greenery, beautiful sky, the sun, the wind. So you have anything that you can bring to mind like this, where the 5 elements are very present in a healthy state. And when we do mantra, there's different ways of doing mantra where we repeat the mantra quickly, but at the end of the day, like repeating the mantra slowly, just taking one syllable at a time, and just going through the mantra, coordinating the mantra with the breath, uniting the mantra with the breath, and the vibration uniting, the vibration, the breath, the intention. So you take the Om, for example, in the center of the eyebrow, in the center of the head. In the center of the chest, the excuse me, the I was in the throat, right? Okay. And then in the center of the chest is the home. Let's do those 3. Okay. So we'll do Om, Ah, Om. And the other sounds you can feel on the navel. And then feeling that vibration inside, which puts the vibration, the science tells us, and the great yogis and yoginis of all times have known very clearly, like everything we perceive is vibrating. Our mind tends to hold things as fixed, for a practical purpose, and then our mind and our emotions tend to hold patterns as fixed also because it makes us feel almost comfortable. Even sometimes we hold on to traumas, even if we dislike them, but because it's just a terrain of certainty, So the beauty of doing the mantra in this way, any mantra or any prayer that you're doing, feeling the inner vibration, is that starts putting ourselves again into this healthy vibration. And it's very beautiful. It's very enjoyable, and it gradually starts unleashing hidden qualities that are within our potential. So we extend that to the practice of the breath, observing the breath. And this is what we did last week. We started that, and we're going to now, for a few minutes, bring your attention to the breath. Okay, your awareness is directed to the feeling of the breath. And specifically to the sound of the breath. at the beginning of this practice, or any practice, it's good to do a few breaths where we exhale a bit more intensely, like we did at the beginning. We did a practice called Journey into Deeper Breathing. It's in the first chapter, at the beginning of these sessions, where we would actually squeeze, and then naturally just let the air come in. So at the beginning, you can do some of that, okay? Just squeezing a bit extra. And the breath comes in and out of the body with our awareness over its specific sound. As you know, a couple of you pointed out the other day when I asked, like, the sound of the breath, it's a sound that happens in nature in different places too, like the wind moving through the leaves, like this gentle breeze, or the almost hearing to the ocean waves in a conch. Observing the sound of our breath, it's a very high form of prayer, it's a very high form of gratitude to the divine. It's like when somebody gives you a present, Years ago, I went to Thailand. In my way to Bhutan, I went to Thailand and I met my friends in Thailand, and we went to Bhutan. And I had brought actually Lama Pema. Some of you have met him online, and I have brought him a stone of lapis lazuli, and it was a simple stone, It was like, but I gave it to him, and he and his wife were there, and they spent a long time looking at the stone and looking at every little shade that it had, and the little like differences in the blues and the little streaks that look like gold, and then this kind of little hole here, and just and imagine when you give a present to somebody, and they, even if it's something very simple, and they relish it so much, say, oh, this is, wow, this is, thank you, so beautiful. So imagine the divine give you the breath, your parents give you the breath, your family lineage gave you the breath so you can live. And now you look at the breath and you feel the breath and you listen to the breath. And this natural sense of profound gratitude is just born. I mean, it just naturally manifests. And I say, wow, thank you. Thank you for this exquisite gift. And when thoughts come or you get distracted or there's a sound takes you away, just bring your attention back to the breath. You can practice with eyes open, you can practice with eyes closed, and whatever is more comfortable. Just sustain the experience of the sound of the breath. So if you had your eyes closed, little by little open them, and if you had them open, just little by little close them, and continue with the same practice. Continue with the same awareness. It's not a practice, we're not doing anything. Just directing our awareness, becoming more effective, becoming in charge of what our awareness does. And then just whatever feels more comfortable. If you want to close your eyes again, whatever feels comfortable, open them. And then just let go of any kind of directionality. Just totally rest. Totally be. Just be. Nothing to do. Being here is enough. How do you clear muddy water? Letting it rest. And how do you let it rest? By stopping to add to it any kind of movement. That's in the Tao Te Ching. So this is really the essence of all these practices. Like at some point we just guide our awareness just to rest It doesn't add, it doesn't subtract. It's just like a natural witnessing of what is it that is going on. And if you need a bit more striking word, you can think of this idea of nakedness, like the consciousness is naked. You are not fabricating. It's as it is. And then to close this practice, all the merit we generated through this practice, we dedicate the benefit. So by the merit of having practiced healing meditation for my benefit and the benefit of all other beings, may all beings, without exception, be well and happy. May there be peace in all lands, prosperity in all households, and joy in all hearts, across all time and space. And may all the motivation prayers made for the well-being of beings become a reality.